So today we are starting with the next chapter of physics, that is force and laws of motion. For CBSE this is the second chapter, and for ICSE students this is the third chapter. So don't go on the number of the chapter, but the content which I'm going to teach is important. Okay, so please focus on the content of the chapter. Okay, so in the previous chapter, that is motion in a straight line or motion in one dimension, we our emphasis was on motion. Okay, we learned about distance, displacement, velocity, acceleration, relationship between these physical quantities, and we never asked this question that why there is motion, what is the cause of motion, what is the reason behind motion. In this chapter we will not only limit our study um, of motion, but behind the cause of motion, what makes motion happen. Okay, what factor is responsible for motion. Okay, when we talk about motion, here we are more concerned with acceleration. Okay, so we'll understand everything in detail, that is the cause behind the motion, from this chapter, force and laws of motion. So what causes acceleration? Suppose you are riding a bicycle and on a straight road with uniform velocity. Suppose you want to increase your speed, that is you want to accelerate. How will you accelerate? The answer is you will apply more force on the pedal in the forward direction so that your speed increases and you accelerate. So for accelerating, what is required? For increasing your speed, what is required? Force. So what causes acceleration? The simple answer behind this question, what causes acceleration, is force. The main factor responsible for acceleration happening in any body is force. Without force, there can be no acceleration. Body can be in motion, but it will move with uniform velocity in a straight direction. If you want to change the direction of the body, if you want to produce acceleration in the body, if you change the velocity of the body, you have to apply force. Suppose if you are riding bicycle on a straight line, on a straight road, okay, and you want to slow down the bicycle, what you will do? You will apply brakes. And what is brake? Brake is applying force in opposite direction of motion, right? So in both the cases acceleration is there. One, in the first case is acceleration is in the positive direction, that is in the direction of displacement. In the second case, when brakes are applied, acceleration is there but in opposite direction of motion, but acceleration in both the cases is produced by force. Okay, so force is an action of one body on the other. In simple words, force is a push or a pull. Force is a push or a pull. Without force, there can be no acceleration. And if acceleration is there, that means there has to be a force. Let's go ahead. Okay, there is one important thing. Now, all of you who are listening to this lecture, I'm positive that you have your pen and your notebook with you so that you're noting these important definitions and points which I'm discussing here. If you don't make notes, then it will be difficult for you to frame answers, because answers in physics are based on concept, and concept is cleared with the help of notes. So while listening to me in the video, it is also recommended that you take notes, right? So your concept is clear and then you can frame answers very easily. Okay, so let's go ahead and understand more things about force. Force has a sense of direction also. It means that we can apply the same amount of force in different directions, producing different effects. Okay, we'll see the examples and understand. Okay, so in our everyday life, we use force quite frequently to perform various activities. kicking football, squeezing the tube of toothpaste, lifting a book, catching a ball, opening a door. Everywhere force is required. So force is one of the most important concept of physics. Force cannot be seen, but its presence can be felt by the effect it creates. So the force which we apply, or the force which is applied on objects, its effect can be seen and its effect can be felt. It cannot be seen directly, but its effects can be felt. Okay, and every day we use force in different tasks uh, associated with our daily life. So what are the effects of force? Force, the first effect of force is that it can move a body lying at rest. For example, kicking a stationary football. Football is lying stationary on the ground, you kick it, it starts moving. So force can move a body lying at rest. Second effect of force, force can stop a moving body. A moving bicycle can be brought to rest by applying brakes. Here, the frictional force between the brake lining of the brake shoe and the bicycle wheel rim acts to stop the bicycle. So, force can move a body at rest. Force can stop a moving body. A goalkeeper stopping a football moving towards the goal post is also an example of stopping a moving body by applying force. Third, force can change the speed of a moving body. It can change the speed. Now see this boy here in the first figure is riding bicycle, and this other boy is pushing that bicycle. What will happen? Because this boy is pushing the bicycle, this bicycle will move with greater speed. The speed of the bicycle will change. But if this boy would be pulling the bicycle towards himself, then the speed of the bicycle will decrease. Right? So, force can change the speed of a moving body. A force can change the direction of a moving body. I will show you the figure for that. Force can change the direction of a moving body. We'll summarize each and every effect of force separately. First, see this. Have you played carom? Yeah, by applying force, we can change the direction in which a body is moving. It is seen in carom very generally. In carom, you change the direction of a moving coin by applying force on it. You can change the direction of a moving ball by applying force on it with the help of a bat. You can change the direction of a football by kicking it in other direction, right? And one more example is force can change the shape and size. Force can change the shape and size of an object. When you squeeze a toothpaste, it gets flattened. When you stretch a rubber band, its shape and size changes. When you stretch a spring, its length changes. One more effect of force, which is not mentioned in many books, so this is important for you to note down. Force can rotate a body. For closing a door, you apply a push. So you just push the door, but what does it do? It rotates. Why? Because the door is pivoted. The door is pivoted. Pivoted means fixed at hinges. That is fixed but free to rotate about an axis. Okay, so force can rotate a body. Example is door. Door is pivoted. You push a door. Door is fixed at the hinges, so door will turn or rotate about the axis which is passing through the hinges. So door is rotating by applying a force on it. When electric current is passed through a motor of ceiling fan, it rotates. The motor produces force which rotates the fan. Okay, so force can accelerate a body. Force can accelerate a body, change its shape and size, or produce a rotational effect. Okay, these are the effects of forces. Will 6 effects of forces. I want you to note down all the effects It can move a body lying at rest, acceleration. It can stop a moving body, deceleration, negative acceleration. It can change the speed of a moving body, again acceleration. It can change the direction of a moving body, again acceleration. It can change the shape and size of the body, and it can produce a rotational effect in the body. These are the effects of forces. With example, note them down. Okay, very simple. There are no numericals, there are no derivations, there are no formulae, there are no symbols, there are no SI units. These are simple informations which you come across about force in day-to-day life. Let's go ahead. Next, uh, uh, you can say one more type of force. No, you can't call it type actually. This is a resultant force. The resultant force could be, you can say, the outcome of multiple forces. Resultant force. Okay, so what is a resultant force? I will directly go to the definition first and then explain with a, you can say, real life example. Resultant force of a number of forces acting on a body is a single force which produces the same effect as produced by all the forces taken together. Resultant force is also called as net force. ठीक है, यहां पे ये दोनों लोग एक अलमीरा को पुश कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, F1 F2, और यहाँ पे एक दूसरा आदमी ये सेम अलमीरा को पुश कर रहा है। तो ये दोनों छोटे बच्चे हैं सपोज, और ये बड़ा आदमी है। ये दोनों छोटे बच्चे जितना फोर्स अप्लाई करके अलमीरा को पुश कर रहे हैं, उतना ही फोर्स ये बड़ा लड़का ये अलमीरा को पुश करने में अप्लाई कर रहा है। ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब क्या है, इन दोनों के फोर्स का ऐड करेंगे तो हमें द फोर्स अप्लाइड बाय दिस बिग पर्सन मिल जाएगा। ठीक है, सो द फोर्स अप्लाइड बाय ए एंड बी, ठीक है, द रिजल्टेंट ऑफ द फोर्स अप्लाइड बाय ए एंड बी इज द रिजल्टेंट of the force is equal to the force applied by this big person. Resultant means sum of all the forces taken together which is acting on a body. Sum of all the forces acting on a body taken together. ठीक है, the same effect is given by resultant force uh, which is you can say obtained by each and every uh, small forces acting on a body together. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइप ऑफ फोर्स अगर हम बोले तो वो है बैलेंस्ड एंड अनबैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस। अब ये क्या है, when the forces acting on a body cancel out the effect of each other in such a way that the resultant force is zero, then these forces are said to be balanced forces. चलो इसका एक डायग्राम देखते हैं। कोई ये अलमीरा को पुश कर रहा है ये साइड से, और कोई दूसरा आदमी पुश कर रहा है पीछे से, दोनों इसको पुश कर रहे हैं, एक आगे से एक पीछे से, तो क्या ये अलमीरा मूव करेगा? नहीं करेगा। मतलब क्या है, रिजल्टेंट फोर्सेस जीरो है। ये जो दोनों फोर्सेस है दे आर एक्टिंग अलोंग द सेम लाइन। ठीक है, मैं यहां पे लिख देता हूं, when okay let me not start with when. two forces acting along the same line, two forces acting along the same line on the same body and of same magnitude. मतलब दोनों फोर्सेस का मैग्नीट्यूड सेम है, उनकी वैल्यू सेम है, वो सेम लाइन पे एक्ट कर रहे हैं एक ही बॉडी पे, और एक ही बॉडी पे सेम बॉडी पे एक्ट कर रहे हैं, देन देयर रिजल्टेंट मींस टोटल सम, रिजल्टेंट is zero, then their resultant is zero, and that is they are balanced forces. ऐसे forces को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Balanced forces. ठीक है, if a number of forces acting on a body produces zero acceleration, then the forces are balanced. क्या ये अलमीरा कहीं मूव करेगा आगे या पीछे? नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, वो जहां वहीं रहेगा। तो उसमें एक्सेलरेशन कितना प्रोड्यूस किया फोर्स ने? जीरो। अगर फोर्स जीरो फोर्स है, बहुत सारे फोर्सेस है, लेकिन वो फोर्स कोई भी एक्सेलरेशन बॉडी में प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पा रहा है, इसका मतलब है कि वो बैलेंस फोर्सेस है। ठीक है। when balanced forces act on a body, the acceleration of the body is zero. अनबैलेंस फोर्सेस क्या होंगे, इसका ऑपोजिट। ठीक है। देखो, ये बलून है, उसके ऊपर एक फुट से प्रेशर या फोर्स अप्लाई किया जा रहा है एंड द बलून इज स्क्वीजिंग। आफ्टर आफ्टर अ सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम क्या होगा, ये बलून फट जाएगा। क्यों फट गया? क्योंकि ये जो बलून है उसके ऊपर अनबैलेंस फोर्सेस एक्ट कर रहे हैं। अनबैलेंस फोर्सेस, बिकॉज अनबैलेंस फोर्सेस मतलब अनबैलेंस फोर्सेस क्या कर सकते हैं, दे कैन चेंज, they can produce acceleration on a body and they can change the shape and size of the body also. ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे इजीली हम लोग समझ सकते हैं कि फोर्सेस बैलेंस है या अनबैलेंस्ड है। इफ फोर्सेस एक्टिंग ऑन एन ऑब्जेक्ट आर बैलेंस्ड, an object remains at rest. An object at rest remains at rest. Acceleration zero. If the object is in motion, it remains in motion with the same velocity. Again, acceleration zero. But if the forces acting on an object are unbalanced, the object becomes accelerating. Acceleration depends on unbalanced force and mass of the object. ठीक है। सो अनबैलेंस फोर्स कब प्रोड्यूस होगा, जब कोई भी बॉडी पे अनबैलेंस फोर्स प्रोड्यूस एक्ट होता है तो उसमें एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस होता है। फॉर एग्जांपल, पेडलिंग अ बाइसिकल, unbalanced force is pedaling a bicycle. When you stop pedaling, क्या होता है, the bicycle continues to move with the same velocity. ठीक है। सो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स जो बाइसिकल पे एक्ट करता है वो अनबैलेंस फोर्स है, विच एक्चुअली स्लोज डाउन द बाइसिकल। तो जब भी एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है तो अनबैलेंस फोर्स है, और एक्सेलरेशन जब जीरो है तो बैलेंस फोर्स है। ओके, मोर टाइप्स ऑफ फोर्सेस। ठीक है, इसको भी समझ लेना। टाइप्स ऑफ फोर्सेस में अब हम थोड़े से और डिटेल में जाने वाले हैं। On the basis of application of force, there are two types of forces, main types of forces: contact force and non-contact force. And as the word suggests, contact force क्या होगा? Contact forces are those forces that result from interaction of two objects in physical contact with each other. जब दो ऑब्जेक्ट एक दूसरे के साथ फिजिकल कॉन्टैक्ट में होते हैं, then they produce contact force on each other. These forces act on a point of direct contact between two objects. इनके टाइप्स क्या है, कैटेगरीज क्या है? फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स डेफिनेटली कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स है। नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स, आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इज दैट। टेंशन फोर्स as applied through strings, spring force, collision force, these are all contact forces. Frictional force क्या होता है? When one body is making an effort of moving on another body or sliding or rolling on another body, friction occurs due to intermolecular attractive forces between the molecules of different surfaces when the two surfaces are pressed together closely. कोई भी दो सरफेसेस को प्रेस करो एक दूसरे के ऊपर तो उनके मॉलिक्यूल्स के इंटरेक्शन शुरू हो जाएंगे, और जब ऐसे दो बॉडीज को मूव करोगे तो ये मॉलिक्यूल्स एक दूसरे को अट्रैक्ट करेंगे, आगे मूव करने नहीं देंगे बॉडी को, जिसकी वजह से फ्रिक्शनल फोर्सेस एक्शन में आएंगे। ठीक है। when a book is lying on a surface there is no frictional force, but when a force parallel to the surface, when a force parallel to the surface is applied on the book, then the book starts moving and there is a frictional force on the opposite direction at the surface at which the book is placed. ठीक है, ये तो तुम्हें पता ही होगा फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स क्या है। नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स क्या है? इफ अ बॉडी इज रेस्टिंग on a surface, then the surface exerts an upward force upon the body in order to support the downward force due to the weight of the body. Due to these balance forces, the object remains at rest. And this upward force, which is acting on the body in the direction perpendicular to the surface, is known as normal reaction force. देखो, एक आदमी एक फ्लोर पे खड़ा है, तो आदमी का जो वेट है दैट इज ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स। ठीक है, जो उसका वेट है वो डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन में फ्लोर के ऊपर, और फ्लोर क्योंकि आदमी रेस्ट पे है तो फ्लोर भी उसको ऊपर की तरफ पुश कर रहा है, एंड दैट इज नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स। ठीक है, तो if you can draw this diagram, you'll understand the direction of normal reaction force. It is always in the upward direction, and the downward force can be the weight of the body on can be the weight of the body which acts on the surface on which the body is kept. Tension force. Tension force is transmitted through a string, a rope, or cable, or a wire when it is pulled tightly by an object which is hanging on with the help of that string or the rope or whatever. I'll show you the diagram. Let's see this diagram. So this rope is holding on this weight, okay, and the weight or this object's weight is pulling the string downwards, and because the weight is not falling down, the string is holding it. There is a tension force created in the string. If you touch this string, you will feel it tight, like pulled. So that pull which is created in this string is known as tension force. This is one important type of force. Then there is spring force. Spring force is the force exerted by a compressed or a stretched spring. You might have seen a spring. So what does a spring do? So whenever you compress or stretch a spring, the spring will try to regain its original shape. So that effort of the spring to regain its original shape whenever it is compressed or stretched is known as the restoring force of the spring. So spring works on the principle of restoring force. Okay, restoring force brings the spring into its original shape. Okay, so there is a very famous law which is Hooke's law. So Hooke's law states that elongation of a spring is directly proportional to the force which is applied on it to compress it or to stretch it. The more force you apply on the spring, the more compression or you can say stretching will be, elongation will be produced in it. Okay, let's see a figure with which we'll understand. Yeah, so in the first figure, the spring is in equilibrium, normal position. In the second figure, the spring is stretched. Now the restoring force, as you can see from the figure, is acting in the opposite direction of elongation. That is, it is trying to bring back the spring into its original, you can say, normal position. Okay, standard position, equilibrium position. Now in the third figure, the spring is compressed. Now the direction of restoring force has reversed. Now the restoring force is trying to bring the spring in, you can say, original or normal equilibrium position all over again, but pushing the spring in opposite direction. So the spring always tries to restore itself when it is stretched or compressed, which is basically spring force or restoring force. Then collision force. What is collision? Collision is when two bodies collide, they push each other. The force acting on each other, the force acted by the force which is exerted by both the bodies on each other is known as the force of collision, and it is always equal and opposite in direction, equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. See, when two bodies are colliding, body A and body B both are exerting force on each other. So what is this? First understand, this is body A and this is body B. What is this? FAB. FAB is force exerted by, force exerted on, exerted, okay, just a moment, force exerted on body A by body B, that is FAB. And what is this? This is force exerted on body B by body A. So both the bodies are exerting equal and opposite forces. Both the bodies are exerting equal and opposite forces on each other, but in opposite direction. Okay, so that happens during collision when two bodies collide with each other. Okay, so these were all the forces which we studied till now were all contact forces. Now non-contact forces. Non-contact forces are those forces that act on the bodies even when they are not in physical contact. Okay, these forces are also called forces at a distance. Examples are gravitational force, electrostatic force, and magnetic force. Gravitational force is the force of attraction between any two bodies due to their masses. The earth also attracts all bodies around it due to its masses. Earth attracts moon, moon attracts earth. All the planets of the solar system attract each other. The sun attracts all the planets of the solar system. All the bodies of this universe, they attract each other with a force which is gravitational force. They are not in contact. Yeah, we are in contact with earth, but if even if we are not in contact with earth, like we are jumping, we get attracted towards earth, we gravitate towards earth. Okay, the force of attraction on a body due to its mass, due to the mass of earth, is called force due to gravity. The force causes a body to move downwards towards earth, and it is also called as a pull of gravity. We have to study about the force due to gravity or weight, a gravitational force basically, when we study about gravitation. Okay, in this topic we are not going to go much deeper into gravitational force, but we should know that gravitational force do not require any medium or physical contact between two bodies for their um, for acting on each other. Okay, gravitational force, always remember that gravitational force is always attractive, it is never repulsive. Okay, examples: if a stone is dropped from a building, it falls down and reaches the ground due to gravitational force. If a ball is thrown vertically upward in the air, it reaches a certain height and then returns to the ground. An object placed on a horizontal surface, such as a desk, will fall down on the ground if the desk is tilted or made vertical. Okay. Electrostatic force. Electrostatic force is the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges separated by a distance. Now you have already studied about charges. What are charges? Charges are the charged particles. Like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. We already know that. Okay, so force exerted between charges is known as electrostatic force. If a glass rod rubbed with silk is brought near a small bits of paper, the bits of paper get attracted to the glass rod, and that is due to electrostatic force of attraction between the unlike charges on the rod and bits of paper. If, however, two glass rods each rubbed with silk are brought close to each other, they will move away from each other because of the force of repulsion between like charges. Magnetic force. Magnetic force is the force of attraction or repulsion between two poles of a magnet, even when they are separated by a distance. It does not need physical contact. So, like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. We already know many things about magnet, right? Okay, so these are all the things which we have studied regarding forces in this first part. Now, without any, you can say, further delay, we'll move towards the next part. First, let's finish important facts about non-contact forces. Okay, all these three facts are very important. Please listen to it and try to understand, take note of them. Uh, all are important. Okay, all the three non-contact forces are known as fundamental forces of nature. Okay, all the other forces are based on these three forces. The gravitational force is always attractive in nature, whereas electrostatic force and magnetic force can be either attractive or repulsive depending upon the nature of the charge or poles of the magnet. The magnitude of gravitational, electrostatic, and magnetic forces between two bodies depends on the distance of separation between them. They obey the inverse square law. We are going to study about the inverse square law when we study gravitation. Okay, that is, the forces vary inversely as the square of the distance between the bodies. The forces decrease with the increase in the distance between the two bodies and increases with a decrease in the distance of separation between the bodies. That means if two bodies are placed here, okay, the distance between them is, let's say, r. Okay, the distance between them is r. If, and the force between them is F. Now, if the force, uh, if the distance between them is made double, let's say not double, but you can say if the distance between them is squared, the force between them will become double. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The absolutely wrong statement I've given here. If the distance between them is doubled, let's say distance between them is made 2r, the force will become 1/4 F by 4. Inverse square relationship. If the distance is double, the force will become 1/4. It will become square, uh, reciprocal of the square of the distance between the two bodies. Okay, the distance between the two bodies is doubled. So what is the reciprocal of 2, square of the 2? 1 by 4. So the force will become 1/4. And if the distance between them is made half, let's say r by 2, the distance between two bodies is made half, then the force will become 4 times. Right? So this we are going to study in gravitation in detail. See, if the distance is halved, then the force between the two bodies increases by 4 times. Okay. Okay, let's now study more about forces by studying the laws of motion. So we are going to study the first law of motion in this video, and this video will end very soon. Study this. Understand this. I'm sorry. The concept of force existed for a long time, but up to 16th century, there was a very wrong concept associated with force and motion. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, gave the idea that for any motion, force is required. Force is absolutely necessary for maintaining motion. Okay. But after Aristotle, another scientist of 17th century, that is Galileo, he was an Italian scientist. He opposed this earlier idea which was suggested by Aristotle. Aristotle was way before Galileo. Okay, Galileo came in 17th century and he changed the whole idea of force and motion. He said that no force was required to keep a body moving with constant velocity in the same direction. If a body is moving in one direction with constant velocity, that means no force is acting on it. Aristotle thought that force is required for any motion. Galileo said force is not required for motion. If the motion is uniform, then force is absolutely not required. Force is required only when acceleration is present, or you need to produce acceleration in the body, only then force is required. And Galileo did not only say this, but he did an experiment. See, this is the experiment of Galileo. So there are three planks over here, A, B, B, C, and CD. Okay. First, a ball is released from point P, which is at a height h, from the plank AB. It was released, and then the path which is taken by that ball was observed. The ball came up to, it started from point B and it came up to point Q. Now when the height of point Q was measured from the ground, it was also observed to be h. Okay. Now I would want you to tell me, from the point P till point B, there is one force acting on the ball. Which is that force? That is gravitational force. Okay. Up from point B to point C, which force is acting on the body? Absolutely no force is acting on the body, and the body, that is the ball, it keeps on moving in the same line B to C with constant speed. no acceleration. Okay, from C to Q, one force is acting on the body again, gravitational force. And due to that gravitational force which is acting in downward direction, the body retards. Its acceleration is produced in opposite direction. It slows down, stops at point Q, and again starts falling in the backward direction. So there was one point in the whole motion, that is from B to C, where motion was there, but there was no force. Okay. Now, if you decrease the inclination of the board CD, okay, the body will travel further distance, but again the height which is acquired by the body is same as the initial height of the body. Okay, if the plank CD is now flattened, the body will not go to that height, but the body will continue to move in the horizontal direction with the constant velocity. Yeah, if there is friction, if you consider the friction to be there and considerable friction, the body will come to rest after some time. But if there is no force, the body will continue to move in the same direction with the constant velocity. That means no force is required for maintaining the motion. If the body is moving, it will continue to move. If the body is at rest, it will continue to be at rest until and unless there is an external force which is applied on it. And guess what? I just told you Newton's first law of motion. After Galileo, Newton came, and Newton did more work on this whole experiment. See, it is written over here. The work of Galileo was further explored by Sir Isaac Newton. Newton was born in England in the same year, 1642, in which Galileo died. The main credit of the better understanding of the concept of force and its relation with motion goes to Newton. He formulated three laws of motion, which are the basic building blocks of dynamics. Dynamics is study of motion and its cause, that is force. The belief of Aristotle was an obstruction for progress of dynamics for 2000 years. Aristotle was in BC, before Christ. So up to the 16th, the 17th century, you can say the whole idea of force could not grow due to the belief of Aristotle. The real progress of dynamics took place with the work of Galileo and Newton. Galileo is called the father of modern science because he showed the path of experimentation. According to Galileo, doing experiments is the better way of finding rules of nature as compared to philosophical thinking. It is because of Galileo's work that Sir Isaac Newton said, "If I have seen farther than other men, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of the giants." Scientists always work in the same way. One scientist comes, he puts a ladder, he climbs on the ladder, and he makes a, you can say, platform for other scientists to climb on that platform and make their own ladders and reach to new heights, so that they can keep on evolving, keep on creating, or you can say um, keep on discovering and uh, finding new things related to the science and grow farther. Science always grows like that. So Galileo and Newton is the best example for this. Now let's see what is Newton's first law of motion. It states that a body at rest will remain at rest, and a body in motion will remain in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, that is with the same velocity, unless and until an external force or an unbalanced force acts on the body to change its state of rest or of uniform motion. जो हमने गैलीलियो के एक्सपेरिमेंट से कंक्लूजन निकाला, वही न्यूटन फर्स्ट लॉ बोलता है कि कोई भी बॉडी मोशन में ही रहेगा, एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में विद द सेम स्पीड एंड सेम, यू कैन से इन द सेम डायरेक्शन, और वो रेस्ट पे ही रहेगा until and unless an external force is applied on it. तो जब तक उस पर एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं करेंगे, जब वो बॉडी अपना स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट या फिर स्टेट ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म मोशन चेंज नहीं करेगा। ये न्यूटन फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन है, और ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक बताता है बॉडी की। अब तुम अपने अराउंड देखो, बहुत सारी चीजें दिखेगी तुम्हें, यू विल फाइंड सो मेनी ऑब्जेक्ट्स। आर दे मूविंग ऑन देयर ओन? आर दे मूविंग ऑन देयर ओन? नो, दे आर नॉट। You will see many objects which are moving. Are they stopping on their own? No. So the bodies which are at rest remain at rest. The bodies which are moving, they continue to move in the same direction with the same speed. Till when will they be in this state? They will be in this state until and unless an external force is applied on them. So external unbalanced force is required to change their state in which they are right now. So this this you can say this tendency to retain their state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line is known as inertia. हर एक बॉडी का इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी होता है इनर्शिया. इसके बारे में हम अभी आगे बात कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो ओके, मैंने अभी कुछ चीजें बताई. अब कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हम पढ़ते हैं एंड देन फिर मैं और डिस्कशन करूंगा इसके बारे में. इनर्शिया अभी आने ही वाला है एंड दिस टॉपिक इज गोइंग टू एंड वेरी सून, बट प्लीज लिसन टू मी. ठीक है. कॉशन यहाँ पे कुछ लिखा है एंड दैट इज आई थिंक इट इज वेरी आई वांट टू रीड इट. क्या है ये कॉशन? Before studying physics, you may have observed a number of bodies in motion, like falling of a ball, movement of trains, cricket ball, etc. During those observations, you may have developed your own ideas about the phenomenon, but some of these ideas might be wrong. It means that you might have developed some misconceptions. The rules of nature do not depend on individuals' thinking. Okay, a number of such misconceptions have been brought into your notice. A suggestion here is that do not act over enthusiastically to develop your own concepts. Rather, follow the principles of physics to be in a much more comfortable and commanding position to understand the laws of nature. By doing so, you will be enjoying the fruits of efforts of thousands of scientists who have worked for a number of centuries. तो अपने कॉन्सेप्ट मत क्रिएट कर लेना, बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. बहुत सारे साइंटिस्ट ने ऑलरेडी बहुत सारा काम कर चुके हैं, उनकी चीजें पहले समझना एंड देन वी कैन थिंक अबाउट व्हाट यू थिंक अबाउट देम. ओके. Thus, Newton's first law of motion leads to the definition of force. Force is a push or pull which changes or tends to change the state of rest or the state of uniform motion of a body. ठीक है. From the above discussion, we conclude that body resists any change in its state of motion or rest, and this resistance to any change in its state is known as inertia. So inertia क्या होता है, मैं फिर से बोलता हूँ. inertia inherent property होती है हर बॉडी के पास. तुम्हारे पास भी है inertia. जब तक तुम्हें मैं बोलता नहीं है कि होमवर्क करना है, नोट्स लेनी है, तुम नहीं लोगे, तो यू विल नॉट चेंज योर स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट. यू विल बी एट रेस्ट. तुम मेरे वीडियोस देखते रहोगे एट रेस्ट, बट जब तक मैं बोलूंगा नहीं चलो अभी नोट्स ले लो, तो तुम नोट्स नहीं लोगे. और कुछ बच्चे तो बोलने के बाद भी नोट्स नहीं लेते, क्योंकि उनको लगता है सर तो देखेंगे ही नहीं, है तो वीडियो है. ठीक है. ये सिर्फ मैं मजाक कर रहा हूं. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द रियल इनर्शिया. सी, रियल इनर्शिया इज इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एनी बॉडी इन फिजिक्स. ठीक है. कोई भी बॉडी जब रेस्ट पे रहता है तो रेस्ट पे ही रहता है. जब तक उसको फोर्स नहीं अप्लाई करोगे उसके ऊपर, वो मूव नहीं करेगा, मतलब उसके पास इनर्शिया है. अब किसी भी बॉडी के पास इनर्शिया क्यों होता है? व्हाई डज एनी बॉडी possess inertia? Any body possesses inertia because of its mass. तो इनर्शिया के पीछे जो मेन रोल प्ले कर रहा है वो कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी है बॉडी की? इट्स ओन मास. तो जितना ज्यादा मास उतना ज्यादा इनर्शिया, जितना कम मास उतना कम इनर्शिया. ठीक है. चलो पढ़ते हैं इनर्शिया के बारे में. Newton's first law of motion is also known as Galileo's laws of inertia. According to the law of inertia, the tendency of a body to oppose any change in its state of rest or motion is called inertia of the body. Inertia, that is resistance to change, is of three types. Inertia of rest. The resistance offered by a body to change its state of rest is called inertia of rest. What happens when a bus starts suddenly? A passenger standing casually experiences a jerk backwards. देखा है तुमने? Experience किया है. तुम बस पे खड़े हो और बस स्टार्ट हुआ तो तुम्हें ऐसे पीछे की तरफ जर्क फील होता है, क्यों? बिकॉज योर फुट, योर फीट आर इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद द फ्लोर ऑफ द बस. ठीक है. नाउ व्हेन द बस मूव्स अहेड, योर फीट विच आर कॉन्टैक्ट in contact with the floor, they also move ahead, but your upper body does not know about this forward motion, and upper body wants to remain in rest, but due to the sudden forward movement of the bus and its floor and your foot which is in contact with the floor of the bus, they all go ahead, but your upper body does not understand what is happening, so it feels a jerk in the backward direction. तो तुम्हें ऐसे एक jerk feel होता है. But then the inertia of your upper body changes from the inertia of rest to inertia of motion, and the whole body starts moving forward, and you stop feeling the jerk after the finally the bus comes to motion. ठीक है. When a branch of a tree is shaken vigorously, ripe fruits get detached and they fall. तो तुम ब्रांच को शेक करोगे, ठीक है. अब ब्रांच मूव करेगा, ब्रांच का इनर्शिया रेस्ट से मोशन में हो गया, लेकिन उससे जो अटैच लीव्स है या फिर जो फ्रूट्स है उसका इनर्शिया रेस्ट पे ही रहता है, उनको पता नहीं चलता कि कोई इसको शेक कर रहा है, क्योंकि तुम ब्रांच को शेक कर रहे हो, फ्रूट्स को थोड़ी शेक कर रहे हो. तो फ्रूट्स और लीव्स वहीं रहेंगे, ब्रांच अपनी पोजीशन से हिल जाएगा, बिकॉज द फ्रूट्स एंड लीव्स हैव द inertia with them, inertia of rest with them. They will not move, they will be there, ठीक है, in their position, but the branch moves suddenly and the leaves and the fruits they get detached from the branch and they fall down. Inertia of rest. ठीक है. Then कारपेट पे से डस्ट कैसे निकालते हैं? वी बीट द कारपेट विद अ स्टिक. तो जैसे ही हम लोग कारपेट को एक डंडे से मारते हैं, क्या होता है? when we beat the carpet suddenly feels the jerk and the inertia of the carpet changes from rest to motion. कारपेट अपनी पोजीशन से पीछे हट जाता है क्योंकि उसका इनर्शिया चेंज हो गया. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने उसके ऊपर फोर्स अप्लाई किया. कारपेट के ऊपर हमने डस्ट को थोड़ी मारा है, हमने तो कारपेट को मारा है. कारपेट पीछे चला गया. अभी डस्ट पार्टिकल्स अपना इनर्शिया चेंज नहीं करना चाहते. डस्ट पार्टिकल्स का इनर्शिया जो रेस्ट पे है वो रेस्ट पे ही रहता है. एंड द डस्ट पार्टिकल्स be where they are. Dust particles do not change their position. Dust particles are at rest and remain at rest. ठीक है. So due to this, the inertia of the dust particles remains in the state of rest. अब कारपेट पीछे चला गया, डस्ट पार्टिकल उधर ही रह गए. अब डस्ट पार्टिकल तो बहुत लाइट होते हैं, दे आर वेरी लाइट. जैसे ही विंड आता है विंड डस्ट पार्टिकल को उड़ा के ले जाता है. तो तुम्हें लगता है कि कारपेट में से धूल निकल रही है, एक्चुअली धूल में से कारपेट निकल रही है. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? थोड़ा सोचो इसको. धूल में से कारपेट निकल रही है, डस्ट में से कारपेट को तुम सेपरेट कर रहे हो. So that is inertia of rest of dust particles. Acha, when you hit a striker on the pile of carom coins which are placed one above the other, you will observe that the lowest coin moves away. बाकी पूरा pile as it is वहीं रह जाता है. Why? Because the coins which are kept in a pile, they have lot of inertia of rest. उनका मास भी ज्यादा होता है, तो वो उधर ही रहते हैं. सिर्फ नीचे वाला कॉइन जिसके ऊपर स्ट्राइकर डायरेक्टली हिट करता है, फोर्स अप्लाई करता है, वो निकल जाता है वहां से. अच्छा, इफ यू हिट अ ग्लास विंडो पेन विद अ बुलेट, ओनली अ स्मॉल होल इज फॉर्म्ड ऑन द प्लेन. द होल window pane does not break because of the contact of bullet with window pane is very short. So in this short time duration, the whole window does not come in motion. ठीक है. बहुत ही छोटे टाइम इंटरवल के लिए ये बुलेट उसको हिट करता है, तो एक छोटा होल होता है बुलेट. बट अगर स्टोन हिट करेगा तो स्टोन बहुत ही आराम से हिट करता है, वो पूरे ग्लास को तोड़ देता है, पूरा शैटर हो जाता है ग्लास, राइट? बिकॉज द होल ग्लास ट्राइज टू चेंज इट्स स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट इनटू स्टेट ऑफ मोशन. वो पूरे ग्लास का इनर्शिया चेंज हो जाता है पत्थर मारने से, बुलेट मारने से नहीं होता. ठीक है. फिर एक एक्टिविटी तुम कर सकते हो. एक ग्लास ले लो, उसके ऊपर एक कार्ड रखो, प्लेइंग कार्ड या विजिटिंग कार्ड, उसके ऊपर एक कॉइन रखो और कार्ड को फ्लिक करो. When you apply force on the card, what will happen? The card will fly away because it is lighter, and the coin being heavier, उसका inertia ज्यादा है, तो वो नीचे ग्लास के अंदर गिर जाता है. ठीक है. So that is also due to the high inertia of coin and low inertia of the card. Inertia of motion क्या होता है? The resistance offered by a body to change its state of motion is called inertia of motion. अब तुम बस में खड़े थे, याद है तुम्हें, जब तुमने जर्क फील किया, तुम बस में, वही बस में जा रहे हो और बस सडनली ब्रेक अप्लाई करती है. अब तुम्हारे जो फीट है वो बस के साथ, फ्लोर के साथ अटैच्ड है, मतलब बस के फ्लोर के ऊपर है, और तुम खड़े हो बस के अंदर. अब बस ने ब्रेक लगाई, तो तुम्हारे फीट को तो पता चल गया कि बस रुक गई है. तुम्हारे अपर बॉडी को अभी भी नहीं समझा. अपर बॉडी तो समझ लो हर बार अपर बॉडी का कटता है. सही है ना? सो अपर बॉडी को नहीं समझ में आता. अपर बॉडी को लगता है कि बस आगे ही जा रही है, तो अपर बॉडी आगे जाने लगता है. तो यू फील अ जर्क इन द फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन एज सून एज द ब्रेक्स आर अप्लाइड. ठीक है. तुम्हारा लोअर बॉडी का इनर्शिया मोशन से रेस्ट में आ जाता है, बट अपर बॉडी का जो इनर्शिया है वो रेस्ट से मोशन में, सॉरी, मोशन से रेस्ट पे आने के लिए टाइम लगता है. इसलिए अपर बॉडी को जर्क फील होता है इन फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन. ठीक है. सो दैट इज ड्यू टू द इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन ऑफ अपर बॉडी. अच्छा, एक एथलीट जब लॉन्ग जंप करता है उसके पहले बहुत लॉन्ग रन लेता है. क्यों पता है? जब वो जंप करेगा उससे पहले अगर वो रनिंग में होगा तो उसके बॉडी का जो इनर्शिया होगा ऑलरेडी मोशन में होगा. अब जब वो जंप करेगा, वो मोशन के इनर्शिया की वजह से वो एक लॉन्ग जंप ले पाएगा. जब हम फैन को स्विच ऑफ करते हैं तो वो रोटेट होता ही रहता है कुछ टाइम के लिए, फिर वो रुकता है, क्योंकि जो इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन डेवलप हुआ है फैन के अंदर, वो इनर्शिया ऑफ रेस्ट में आने के लिए टाइम लगे, उसको टाइम लगेगा, फ्रिक्शन होगा, फिर धीरे धीरे रुकेगा आके. अच्छा, कोई भी आदमी जब ट्रेन से प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर जंप करता है, ठीक है, या बस से रोड के ऊपर जंप करता है, तो जब उसके फीट टच होते हैं ग्राउंड पे तो वो थोड़ा सा रनिंग करता है. ठीक है. मैं तुम्हें एक वीडियो दिखाऊं. लेट्स सी अ वीडियो, और कैसे आदमी गिरते भी हैं वो भी हम देखते हैं. चलो यूट्यूब में जाके लेट्स सर्च अ वीडियो, दिस विल बी फन. Jumping on a platform from a moving train. कुछ भी वीडियोस आ रहे हैं. टीन दैट जंप फ्रॉम मूविंग ट्रेन द स्टेशन सीसीटीवी. क्या है ये? हमको फिजिक्स पढ़ना है और ये एक्सीडेंट पे एक्सीडेंट दिखाया जा रहा है हमको. Wrong way woman jumps from a moving train onto platform. ये लोगों को फिजिक्स नहीं पता, ये सब मरते हैं. ये जिसने भी फिजिक्स नहीं पढ़ा ये सब मर रहा है. फिजिक्स पढ़ लो, तुम्हें ट्रेन से कैसे जंप करना है. ऑफ कोर्स ज्यादा स्पीड में होगा तो फिजिक्स ये भी सिखाता है कि यू विल डाई. एक मिनट, ये वाला देखते हैं यार. आई थिंक अच्छा हो, मतलब आई डोंट नो, मतलब बुरा नहीं होना चाहिए कुछ. Oh my God. What is Oh my God, that, ये क्या था ये क्या था? क्यों क्यों किया इसने? Oh my God. तो इसने कुछ अलग ही कोशिश की यहाँ पे. फिजिक्स फिजिक्स के रूल को पूरा पता नहीं कहाँ पे रखा है इन्होंने. फिजिक्स के रूल को छोड़ दो. ये मुझे इधर जाना भी नहीं है. इधर ये दिस इज गोइंग टू बी रियली बैड. ये फोटो ही दिखा रहा है, ये क्या कर रहा है बेवकूफ आदमी. सी बेसिकली जब कुछ कुछ लोगों ने तुमने देखा होगा लोकल ट्रेन में कुछ लोग होते हैं, दे जैसे ही ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म पे आती है ना, वो थोड़ी स्लो होती है, ये लोग जंप कर लेते हैं। और ये क्या करते हैं पता है, जंप करके ट्रेन के साथ रनिंग करने लगता है, एंड दैट इज द राइट वे। अगर ट्रेन के साथ, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट इज द राइट वे मींस दैट यू शुड डू इट, यू शुड नॉट डू इट। मैं तो बोलता हूँ ट्रेन में ट्रैवल ही मत करो, लोकल ट्रेन में कोई जरूरत नहीं है। ठीक है, फ्यूचर में इतनी पढ़ाई करके इतनी अच्छी जॉब लोगे, तुम्हें ट्रेन में ट्रैवल ना करना पड़े। ठीक है, बट हाँ, अगर तुम्हें ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करना पड़े और अगर तुम्हें शौक है चलती हुई ट्रेन से प्लेटफॉर्म पे उतरने का, देन देर इज अ वे दैट व्हेन यू जंप आउट ऑफ द ट्रेन, व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू कीप रनिंग इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ट्रेन। सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज बेसिकली, देखो तुम जब ट्रेन पे खड़े हो तो तुम्हारा बॉडी का जो इनर्शिया है वो इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन, जैसे ही तुम प्लेटफॉर्म पे लैंड करते हो, अगर तुम रनिंग नहीं करोगे तो योर द inertia of your body, your lower body will suddenly come to rest because your feet, they land on the platform. But upper body does not know this, and the upper body will fall forward. तुम आगे टॉपल होके आगे गिर जाओ। So, in order to not to fall while jumping from a moving train onto a platform, you should jump and continue running for some distance and slowly retard yourself or bring your body to rest. ठीक है, कोई भी चलती हुई ट्रेन या बस से अगर तुम्हें रोड पे जंप करना है सेफली, ठीक है, तो ऐसे ही करना, वो बेवकूफ आदमी की तरह बिल्कुल मत करना। दिस वॉज फनी। ओह, ओके ओके ओके। अच्छा, एक इनर्शिया ऑफ डायरेक्शन भी होता है। द रेजिस्टेंस offered by a body to change its direction of motion is called inertia of direction. Let's search inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. Let's see क्या मिलता है हमको। यार, क्या पकाऊ चीजें दिख रही है। हे, वॉच दिस वीडियो, लेट्स वॉच दिस वीडियो। ये बहुत अच्छा होगा, ये इसका इन लोग का मुझे अच्छा लगता है। बॉर्नविल चॉकलेट आ गई, बिल्कुल चॉकलेट नहीं मिलेगी आपको।
Here's a quote from Albert Einstein. Nothing happens until something moves. What do you think Einstein meant by this? In this video, we're going to discuss what inertia is, the effects it has, and what affects it. Inertia is the resistance to a change in motion. So an object at rest remains at rest, and an object in motion remains in motion with the same velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Inertia is why you feel a jerk as the brakes are applied in a car or a bus. Your body tries to continue moving forward, but your seatbelt, which is attached to the slowing car, applies the force that also slows you down.
Actually, जब तुम्हारा लोअर बॉडी जो सीट पे बैठे हो तुम, it keeps you in rest when the brakes are applied, but the upper body does not know about that. तो upper body को ज्यादा जर्क होता है, लोअर बॉडी को इतना जर्क फील नहीं होता, इसलिए सीट बेल्ट पहनने से वो जो जर्क है वो मिनिमाइज हो जाता है।
Inertia is the resistance to the change in velocity. We can demonstrate inertia using the following experiment. You will need a glass or a cup of water, a coin, and a piece of card.
Okay, we know this.
When the card is pulled, the coin falls into the glass. This is because the inertia of the coin maintains its state at rest, and as long as the friction between the card and the coin is not too high, it falls into the glass due to gravity. It's also why the plates stay in place when the magician pulls the tablecloth away. The inertia of an object depends on its mass. More mass means more inertia.
Yes, more mass, more inertia, we know that.
A greater resultant force will be needed to change the motion of an object with a high inertia. For example, which of these trolleys will require a greater force to start or stop it moving?
बताओ कौन सी ट्रॉली को ज्यादा फोर्स लगेगा उसको मूव करने के लिए, या फिर अगर वो मूव हो रही है तो उसको रोकने के लिए? ऑफ कोर्स ये जो ट्रॉली में सबसे ज्यादा सामान भरा है उसको, उसका मास ज्यादा है।
or indeed to change its direction of motion.
अच्छा, इसका डायरेक्शन चेंज करने के लिए भी हमें ज्यादा एफर्ट लगेगा। जो ट्रॉली में बहुत सामान होता है उसको तुम टर्न करने में भी बहुत तकलीफ होती है। दैट इज द इनर्शिया ऑफ डायरेक्शन जो हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं।
That's right, the trolley with the greater mass will require the greater force. A similar thing happens if you're in a car turning a sharp corner.
यस।
It seems like you're flung outwards, but actually it's your inertia which resists.
टर्निंग में क्या होता है? जब कार टर्न होती है, तुमने देखा कि जिस डायरेक्शन में कार टर्न हो रही है तुम उसके ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में से बेंड हो जाते हो। क्यों? क्योंकि योर बॉडी डज नॉट वांट टू टर्न। योर बॉडीज इनर्शिया want to keep you moving in the same direction with the same velocity. So as the car takes a turn, you turn, like your upper body turns in the opposite direction to resist the change in that you can say direction of your motion. So that is inertia of direction.
Resists the change of direction. The car moves in this direction. This is where you would be if no force acted. You carry on at the same speed and direction. Friction between the car tyres and the road applies a force that enables the car to change direction. You were pushed round by the car, but it felt like you were being flung outwards. Inertial mass is a measure of how difficult it is to change the velocity of an object.
Okay, I think enough. We have taken enough, you can say, knowledge. Let's go here. ठीक है। कुछ एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ ये inertia of direction का। When a bus suddenly takes a turn, the passenger sitting casually experience a jerk in outward direction. This happens because passenger tend to remain in its original direction of motion due to the inertia of direction. Why are mud guards used over the wheels of a vehicle? This is because mud sticking to the grooves of the tire fly off tangentially when the wheel moves at high speed. To protect the rider from this mud guards are used. नहीं तो ये जो व्हील घूमेगा यहाँ पे सपोज कीचड़ है बहुत सारा। लेट मी ड्रॉ कीचड़ फॉर यू। कीचड़ कमिंग अप। कीचड़ कलर प्लीज। कीचड़ कलर किधर है? हाँ भैया, कीचड़ कलर चाहिए हमको। यस, डार्क कीचड़ कलर ले लिया। तो यहाँ पे कीचड़ लगा हुआ है, ठीक है। अब जैसे ये टर्न करेगा व्हील, क्या होगा? ये कीचड़ उड़ के तुम्हारे मुंह पे। जस्ट इमेजिन, अच्छा होगा ये? नहीं। इसलिए मड गार्ड्स लगाते हैं ताकि ये इनर्शिया ऑफ चेंज इन डायरेक्शन की वजह से कीचड़ उड़ के तुम्हारे मुंह पे ना आए। Suppose a stone is tied to a string, is whirled around a circle. What happens to the string? What happens when the string is cut? The stone flies off tangentially due to inertia of direction. ठीक है? While sharpening the edge of a knife, it is rubbed against a rotating grinding wheel. The sparks produced leaving the grinding wheel tangentially due to the inertia of direction. Sharpening a knife. इसका भी वीडियो दिखा देता हूं ताकि तुम्हें समझ में आएगा। Sharpening a knife on grinding wheel. I want to. Yes, I think.
That you're using is nice.
Have you seen this thing happening? I want to see the spark.
Grinding wheel. Brace it on this flat metal piece so you don't get any wobble.
You see this? Do you see the sparks? So these sparks which you see, which are flying off from the grinding wheels, they are hot particles of the knife. ये जो नाइफ का मेटल है ना, उसके छोटे छोटे पार्टिकल्स जो शार्पन हो रहे हैं वो उसमें से निकल रहे हैं और वो फ्लाई ऑफ हो रहे हैं। दे आर फ्लाइंग ऑफ ड्यू टू देयर इनर्शिया ऑफ डायरेक्शन इनटू टेंजेंशियल डायरेक्शन। ठीक है?
To minimize that.
And see, now you just see the direction of those hot particles. These are hot particles. Amazing, na? So that's also due to inertia of direction. So it has been observed that resistance to change is not equal in all bodies. On what factor does inertia of the body depends? Inertia of a body depends on mass. More mass, more inertia. Less mass, less inertia. Always remember that. Okay, so we have completed, you can say, two parts of this chapter. First is like basic introduction to force, and the second part is Newton's first law of motion and inertia. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please comment in the group that yes, we like the video very much. I will be really happy if you do that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, and maybe a couple of videos more, and I'm going to finish this chapter. It's a very interesting chapter, and then we'll move to the next target. Okay, bye bye. See you later.